the difficulties with that, the opportunities with it. What kind of tech are you guys utilizing?
Yeah.
It's a relatively high touch. There's a lot of turnover in guests. Like you said, it's kind of like operating a mini hotel. You've got the guest relations side with people wanting to text or call somebody at 10 o'clock because the hot tub's not turning on, to the,
Yeah.
hey, the code to the door's not working, or there's a towel that's not clean, whatever it may be. There's always something it seems like that comes up. So there's the guest relations side, there's the maintenance, there's cleaning, there is just general property surveillance and upkeep. I mean, there's just a lot of things that go into. There's
Yeah.
obviously the booking and the pricing, right? Getting the word out. There's the marketing side of it. How do you get drive bookings? But talk about what you guys do there. How do you feel like you have an edge?
Yeah. It's the space has just shifted so dramatically from a decade ago. Even from the time I started working at Airbnb, which wasn't a decade ago, the space has shifted tremendously on the property management side. I think there's definitely a saturation of players out there. And to your point, it is hard to differentiate yourself. You have to find differentiation in the space. I think, we try to differentiate ourselves by going the extra mile. What I tell people is we are not going to be the cheapest option for your management agreement, right? Because obviously after you sort of go through the trial period with us, we keep you in a management agreement. After that, the whole idea is we want to show you how well we can manage the asset, how much care we take over the asset during that trial period, and then we transition from us owning the asset to you owning the asset, and then we have a traditional management agreement at that point where you stay in the home whenever you want again. And we rent out the home the rest of the year, and then we take a portion of the nightly revenue that we generate, and you get the rest. We aren't the cheapest one out there, but I do think we offer much more than most of the competition. If you dig into some of the competitive rates, they might be less. It's a bit of a race to the bottom, honestly, in property management. A lot of folks out there, the bigger players, all try to undercut each other. They'll try to negotiate shorter terms. It's like a year-long term for 20% or 15% or 10%, and everyone just keeps racing down and down and down. And what I think people have to lift under the hood and they realize, I'm actually getting far less for this than I thought. That some people will charge, 15% for just pricing access alone on the management side, and they don't actually manage the home itself. Others will, charge more and claim to be full service, but that full service, the example I give to people is, with summer, if the boiler breaks on your home, and you own the home, let's imagine you own the home out right now. You're the deeded owner. You've gone through the trial period. You bought it outright with us. We'll call you up and say, "Hey, Max, the boiler broke on your home. Here's 5 options in terms of how we can replace this. Here are the quotes for all of them with different vendors. And do you want us to move forward on one of these or not? We'll manage all of it, and we'll take the cost of that boiler replacement off of your revenue for that month, right? Because you're the owner now, so you obviously have to cover the expenses of the home itself. Other folks will just kind of call you up and say, "Hey, Max, the boiler's broken. We're going to take it off Airbnb and be our Verbo. You should probably do something about that, right?" You got to go out and find the legwork and the grunt work to get it done. And I think when it comes to people staying in these assets for the long haul, and we see a lot of success with customers who have owned in the past vacation homes or investment properties, or owned a primary residence, because they realize all the things that can go wrong in a home and what a value add it is to have someone taking care of things in that nature. Because the last thing you want to be doing as a busy professional, again, or someone with other things going on, is having to deal with getting up to somewhere, whether it's 3 or 4 hours away, having to deal with this, having to worry about lost revenue, things like that. We'll try to take as much off of that as your plate as we can. But obviously we need to be compensated for that. Now, how we try to shift costs down on our end is enabling technology where we can. Property management is a business where, there's so much you can do with technology these days that people don't even realize, from effectively, white labeling short-term rental, standing that up on your own platform, to being able to get out there and cross-channel list across many ways. You can use AI for a lot of the guest communications these days. You can sort of program that to be able to at least answer some of the more basic fundamental questions, like, "Hey, what's the Wi-Fi code?" Or what's the passcode in the smart lock for this home, and things like that, which definitely lower the burden of overhead, so to speak. There's a lot of great off-the-shelf tools out there, right? Even for the acquisition side of the business, that will do home inspections and things like that programmatically. That just didn't exist a long time ago. So this can definitely lower your costs and lower some of the burdens on you as a business. That being said, AI and technology hasn't replaced a cleaning yet, and it hasn't replaced a handy person to a roofer or anything like that. So you certainly need a network of quality vendors in these markets, and that's what we really lean into. We don't have folks on the ground that we are employing full time, so to speak, but we do lean into a quality network of vendors that we've sourced and we've sort of manicured and honed over time in these markets to be able to call on and lean on and go in and do an excellent job on our homes. And even that, has technology component to it. Our cleaners can go through and we give them, photos and playbooks of what the homes are supposed to look like. And as they finish their cleans, they're snapshotting pictures of these homes and sending them back to HQ so that they can be verified and checked over. Right. So you try to leverage technology as much as you can in the space though.